Hello students. In our last class, we discussed about nucleophilic substitution reaction. In short form, you can also call it as NSR. And we came to know how to write this nucleophilic substitution reaction in a general way. Along with it, we also discussed about nucleophile, electrophile, examples for them, and the charges we represent for particular nucleophile and electrophile. And also we discussed about ambidentate ligand and few examples regarding them. And in today's class, we are going to learn very important and very interesting concept from this chapter, haloalkenes and haloarenes. And also this is very important in terms of your examination. In your board examination, you are going to get complete 3 mark from this chapter. And also for CET, NEET and JEE, you are going to get a lot of questions from this concept. So this is very important. Make sure you are going to learn it properly. Okay, let us start it. We are going to discuss about nucleophilic substitution reaction only, but in a deeper way, not just a general reaction. We are also going to study the types of these nucleophilic substitution reaction. It is going to be in 2 types, that is SN1 reaction and SN2 reaction. Now you might be wondering, what is this SN1 and SN2? S stands for substitution. S stands for substitution and N stands for nucleophilic. This one, it is going to stand for unimolecular. This is very important. Unimolecular. Uni means one. And molecular, why? Because here one molecule is going to play a major role in this reaction. That is why it is substitution nucleophilic unimolecular reaction. Now you can guess what is this SN2. SN2 is nothing but substitution nucleophilic 2 stands for 2 molecules. That 2 molecules you can write like bi. Bi means 2. Bimolecular reaction. Understood what is the meaning of SN1 and SN2? SN1 is substitution nucleophilic unimolecular reaction. SN2 is substitution nucleophilic bimolecular reaction. You can also call this SN1 as unimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction and SN2 as bimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. Understood? In this class, we are going to study more about this SN1 reaction and mechanism. Okay? Before we understand how to write the reaction and mechanism for this SN1 reaction, we must know some conditions or the factors which is required to take place this nucleophilic substitution reaction. Okay, so now let us see the factor now. First condition or the factor which is important for this reaction is the reaction must takes place in the presence of polar protic solvent. If there is no polar protic solvent, then SN1 reaction do not takes place. Okay, this is the most important requirement so that the reaction can takes place. So now let us see what is this polar protic solvent. You guys know the meaning of solvent, which is going to dissolve any of the solute in it. And this solvent is nothing but a chemical compound. And what kind of chemical compound? What kind of solvent it is? It is polar protic. Polar protic in the sense any of the solvent which can donate H plus ion. You can define this polar protic solvent in two ways. First way is you can say that if any of the solvent is going to donate H plus ion, you can call it as polar protic solvent. In other way, you can say if a solvent contain or has hydrogen bond. You have already studied what is the meaning of hydrogen bond. If in case hydrogen is bonded with oxygen, or hydrogen is bonded with nitrogen, or hydrogen is bonded with fluorine. What I mean to say is, if in case hydrogen is bonded with highly electronegative atom, then this bond which exists between hydrogen and that particular highly electronegative atom, this bond is known as hydrogen bond. If in case any of the solvent has hydrogen bond in it, or it is able to donate the H plus ion, that kind of solvent you can call it as polar protic solvent. For example, you consider water. If in case water undergo ionization, it is going to form H plus and OH minus. Correct? This water is going to exhibit these two conditions, that there is a hydrogen bond between hydrogen and oxygen, and also it is going to donate H plus. You can also consider one more example, that is acetic acid. How do you write acetic acid? CH3COOH. This is a formula of acetic acid. You only say that when this acetic acid dissolve in water, it will undergo ionization, no? When it undergo ionization, what it is going to form? Two different ions. One is positive and then another one is negative charge. The bond between this oxygen and hydrogen will get break. So you are going to get CH3COO minus along with H plus. So here also you can observe there is a bond exists between oxygen and hydrogen. So there is a presence of hydrogen bond in acetic acid. And also when it dissolve in water or it undergo ionization, you can see it is going to donate H plus. Here you can observe one more very interesting point, that whenever these type of molecule undergo ionization or dissolve in water, it is going to form a nucleophile. In our last class we discussed what are nucleophile. Nucleophile are those substances which will be having negative charge in it. That means it is going to get attracted towards the positive charge. These two are nothing but nucleophile. That is why you must use polar protic solvent. So those solvent can release nucleophile so that the reaction will take place. That's what the name of this reaction, substitution nucleophilic unimolecular reaction. You must need nucleophile for this reaction. Here, this is how you are going to get nucleophile. And also alcohol. Alcohol is also a very good example for this polar protic solvent. I hope you understand what is polar protic solvent and why you must use polar protic solvent for this SN1 reaction. Okay. Now let us see what is the second condition or the factor of SN1 reaction. SN1 reaction is going to take place in two steps. In the first step, there is a formation of, it is going to be a formation of carbocation. And in the second step, we are going to get a final product. So, since there is a formation of carbocation, we can say the order of reactivity for SN1 reaction. And in our last classes, we have already discussed how will be the stability of tertiary, secondary and primary carbocations. We already know that tertiary carbocation is going to be more stable or highly stable than the secondary and primary carbocation. Since it is more stable, definitely this tertiary halide, tertiary haloalkane is favors to undergo the reaction so that it can form the tertiary carbocation which is more stable. Correct? That is why you can say order of reactivity in SN1 reaction is tertiary greater than secondary greater than primary. For your reference, let me tell what is tertiary, secondary and primary. We have already discussed. Just for the revision, if in case carbon contains 3 other carbon atoms, another bond was with halogen, when it will get break, it is going to get positive charge, that is what carbocation. Since it has 3 other carbon bonds along with this carbon, it is tertiary. Here you can observe this carbon is bonded with 2 more carbon atoms and another bond is with hydrogen. Since it is having 2 other carbon atoms bonding with this carbon, it is secondary. And in this carbocation you can observe this carbon is bonded with only 1 further carbon. Remaining 2 bonds are with hydrogen. Understood? That is why it is tertiary, secondary and primary. This is very important whenever they ask you to write the reaction and mechanism for SN1. You must also include this order of reactivity for SN1. That is tertiary greater than, secondary greater than, primary. For your competitive examination and all, it is also important to know why tertiary favors SN1 rather than secondary and primary. It is because tertiary carbocation is going to be more stable or highly stable comparing with secondary and primary. That is why the order is going to follow this way. Understood? Third factor is order of kinetic in SN1. That means what order of kinetic is going to follow in SN1 reaction. I guess this order of kinetic is a new word for you because this concept comes in a chapter chemical kinetics that is there in your second year syllabus. You'll understand completely regarding that. Now just for understanding SN1 reaction, I'm just going to give an important term regarding order of kinetic. To find the order of kinetic, you must understand what is rate of a reaction. Rate of a reaction generally you might be knowing, that is nothing but a time taken for the completion of reaction. That means how fast the reaction is going to take place or how slowly the reaction is going to take place. What time was required for the completion of reaction. That is known as rate of a reaction. Okay, and this rate of a reaction is going to depend on slowest step. If in case the reaction is going to take place in only one step, then the rate is going to depend on that particular step. There is nothing like slowest or fastest. If in case the reaction takes place in several steps, in first year also you have written mechanisms, no? When you write mechanisms, you will write more steps, no? In which one of the step might be the fastest step and one might be the slow step. In the mechanisms and all, you will come to know what is slow step and what is fast step. The rate is going to depend on slow step of the reaction. Okay, and why I am saying this, because this SN1 reaction is going to take place in 2 steps, in which one of the step is slowest step and the rate depend on that particular slow step, and what are all the reactant is going to involve in slow step, that is going to give the rate of reaction. Okay, in SN1 I said the first step is going to be slow step. In the slow step we are going to use only one reactant. Only one reactant is responsible for the rate of a reaction in SN1. That is why you can write rate is nothing but the concentration of reactant, no? Which reactant here we are particularly talking about? We are talking about substrate. In the last class we discussed how the nucleophilic substitution reaction is going to take place. To undergo this reaction, there must be two compounds. One is called as substrate and another one is called as reagent, where substrate is the alkyl halide and this reagent is nothing but the nucleophile, correct? This rate is going to depend on one of the reactant and that reactant is going to be substrate. That means what particular alkyl halide you are going to use, based on that you will write the rate of the reaction. Since rate is depend on only the concentration of only one reactant, you can say this SN1 reaction is going to follow first order kinetic. Okay. When you are going to write the exam, you no need to explain all these terms. This is for your understanding and for competitive examination. You just need to write this. It is going to follow first order kinetic. But as a science student, you must be knowing why do we call it as first order kinetic. That is why all this explanation. Okay. So now after understanding all the factors, let us now understand how to write this SN1 reaction. This is very easy, guys. I am going to explain it in a very easier way. Since you already know the factors and all, it is very easy to write the reaction for unimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. In one of the factors, we came to know that tertiary carbocation is more stable. No, that tertiary alkyl halide is going to favor this reaction. So let us take the tertiary alkyl halide itself. Let me write it. Carbon bonded with 3 other carbon atoms. I will take methyl group only. And it is bonded with one of the halogen. We will consider bromine here. Okay. When it is going to react with nucleophile, you can consider any of the nucleophile like OH minus or CH3COO minus. For the sake of your board examination, I am going to consider OH minus. We came to know how did we get this OH minus. This is because of using polar protic solvent. Okay. When these two react together, we are going to get some product over here. This is a general reaction, guys. We are not writing mechanism yet. So we are going to write the reaction in only one step because it is not a mechanism, just a general reaction. Okay. How the reaction will take place is, first the bond between this bromide and carbon, this bond will get break. When you made reaction between this alkyl halide and nucleophile, first the bond exists between carbon and bromine is going to get break. When this bond break, we know that carbon is going to get positive charge and Br is going to get negative charge. Since our nucleophile is minus in charge, that means it will get attracted towards the positive charge. So what you can write, this OH minus will go and attract towards carbon, carbocation, C plus. So what is the product you are going to get? I will write it carbon as it is, and there is no disturbance for other remaining 3 bonds. So let me write remaining 3 bonds here, CH3, CH3 and CH3. This bond got break and OH made bond with the carbon atom. So I can write here the bond is with OH. What is left out now? We have Br minus. What is this Br minus? It is bromo anion. And what is this? It is nothing but a alcohol form, no? What kind of alcohol it is? This alcohol is bonded with this carbon atom, which is bonded with 3 other carbon atom. So you can write it as tertiary butyl alcohol. And this is bromo anion. OH minus acted as nucleophile. And what is the name of this compound? Generally it is tertiary butyl bromide. If you write small t with hyphen, it means it is tertiary. Tertiary butyl bromide. Understood, guys? This is how you can write the general reaction for SN1 reaction. See, let us write the IUPAC name of this reactant and the product we got in SN1 reaction. First you need to find the parent chain, that is 1, 2, 3. In the second position, one methyl substituent is there, and in the same second position Br is also attached. So what you can write? 2 bromo 2 methyl propane. Why I wrote bromo before methyl? We are going to follow the alphabetical order, and here you can observe 1, 2, 3. In the second position methyl group is there, and in the same second position alcohol group is there. If the alcohol group is there, we are going to use a suffix OL. So you can name it as 2-methyl propan 2-ol. So when you use alkyl halide and when it undergo SN1 reaction, you are going to get respective alcohol as the product. Understood this? Now let us see how to write the mechanism for this reaction. The mechanism of SN1 reaction is going to take place in 2 steps, where in the first step there is a formation of carbocation. So let us write the first step now. What reactant we are going to use? We are going to use the tertiary alkyl halide. So let me write the reactant. CH3, CH3, CH3 bonded with bromine. This is tertiary alkyl bromide. When in the first step what happens is, first the bond between carbon and bromine will get break. Okay, and it is a reversible reaction. From the reactant you will get the product which forms in this step, and they can again form the reactant. Okay, so it is a reversible step. This is how you represent the symbol for reversible step. When you do the first step, the bond between carbon and bromine will get break. So what you will get in the product side? The carbon is bonded with 3-methyl group, which is unaffected, and this bond got break. So you are going to write positive charge over here. When the bond breaks, this Br will go aside, no? Along with the negative charge. What is this? With the positive charge, it is nothing but tertiary carbocation. This is what I was telling when we were discussing about order of the reaction. Tertiary carbocation is highly stable. So tertiary alkyl halide favors this reaction so that it can form the tertiary carbocation, which is very stable. Okay, and this is bromo anion. This is what? First step. Second step is attack of nucleophile on the carbocation. So in the second step, this nucleophile is going to attack the carbocation which is formed in the first step. So let us write the reaction for that. Let me write the same carbocation here in the reactant side. CH3, CH3, CH3 with positive charge for this carbon. That is what the indication of carbocation. And we have a nucleophile. What nucleophile we have here? We have OH minus. This is the nucleophile. So what is going to happen now? Here this nucleophile is going to attack on the carbocation. So when it attacks on the carbocation, what we are going to get? We will get carbon with CH3, and this OH has been attacked on the carbocation. Attacking in the sense this negative charge is getting attracted towards the positive charge. So there will be a bond formation between carbon and OH. So what we are going to get? We will get this final product. And what is the name of this compound? Generally you can say it as tertiary butyl alcohol. You can also say it as 2-methyl propan 2 all. Remember guys, don't do the mistake while writing OL. Okay, AL is aldehyde, OL is for alcohol. That's it guys. This is the steps for the mechanism of SN1. Isn't it easy? If you just understand the factors and how the reaction is going to take place, if you know the general reaction, what will be the reactant and what will be the product, writing this mechanism is going to be very easy. And very importantly, when you write the mechanism, you must write the arrow marks like this. The bond, breaking of bond and the attack of nucleophile on the carbocation. You must show these steps or the reaction in terms of arrow mark. Okay, in mechanism. If you miss the arrow mark, there is a chances of losing mark in your board examination. I hope you guys understood this. Okay guys, now please take a screenshot of this reaction and mechanism and points given over here. These are the overall concept which we discussed in our today's class. And if in case in your board examination they ask a question like write the reaction and mechanism of SN1 reaction, you need to write all these points. First you must write the general reaction along with the names and all. Next you must write mechanism stepwise, and also need to show the arrow marks in both the steps along with names of the products formed. Then you need to include this point, that order of reactivity, order of kinetic, and the reaction carried out in polar protic solvent. This point is order of halogen, that we are going to use this alkyl halide. No, what kind of halogen, if it is present in alkyl halide, how the reaction is going to take place. That is what order of halogen. Always if the alkyl halide which you have taken, if it is iodine, then the reaction will easily takes place. Iodine is favorable, then bromine, which is favorable, then chlorine, and then fluorine. The reason is size of these halogen atoms. Size of halogen is more than the remaining halogen. If the size is more, then it is easy to break the bond between carbon and that particular halogen. That is why as the size increases, the reactivity of halogen in SN1 will increases. Okay. Also remember this order of halogen for your NEET, CET and JEE and other competitive examination. Okay. These are the 4 factors you must remember. I hope this class was helpful for you to understand the reaction and mechanism of SN1 reaction. Okay. Thank you so much. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel. In the next class, we'll discuss about the SN2 reaction and mechanism. Thank you so much guys.